Okay, so if you would, please turn your textbooks to page 119 because today we are looking at dancing with schools. So on page 119, we see our first preschool type, and that is Head Start. Okay, so if you would go down to the fourth to last line on page 119, it reads, as this is a federally funded program, the state programs must adhere to the federal guidelines. Additionally, the individual programs must fulfill various stipulations to obtain the necessary funding for the program's success. So, in order for that to happen, and I can vouch for this because I used to work at a Head Start program, Head Starts must be taught with academic goals in mind. Goals such as making sure that a child can spell his name as well as other people's names, making sure that a child can identify particular sight words, making sure that a child can count up to a particular number, making sure that a child can add with certain kinds of numbers, making sure that the child can identify specific animals and even group them, things like that. So, as long as the teachers can help the child achieve those particular objectives, then Head Starts continue to receive federal funding. So as a result, if you were to visit a Head Start preschool, it might resemble more of an elementary school classroom than a preschool classroom, especially during teacher-led group activities. Now below this video, you should see a file entitled EVA, E-V-A. And below that, you should see an audio recording of that particular file. So eva.rtf, that's the transcript of a group language activity that the teacher did with the children. And the audio, with that, we get to listen to that. So if you would, before I go any further, please pause the video and read the transcript and or listen to the audio. And that is a group activity done by Ava. So please pause the video and read the transcript and or listen to the audio. Okay, so did you notice anything in particular that was interesting or noteworthy or curious, or maybe even unlike that which you've ever seen in a preschool? I'll tell you what I noticed. I noticed that this Head Start teacher was looking for correct answers from the students. According to the teacher, there was only one particular correct answer. When the teacher showed them a picture of an item beginning with the letter H, she was looking for one correct answer. So, because of this activity, the children were able to achieve the objective, the particular language objective that the teacher had in mind. In this case, the objective was to be able to match the letter H with items that begin with the letter H. Interesting, huh? On page 120, on the next page, go to the third line at the top of 120. Third line from the top. Head Start teachers and assistants must be educated in early childhood education and are encouraged to obtain child development credentials and degrees. Now, that is a government mandated thing that Head Start teachers have to go through. And there is a really good example of the macro system and how it affects the microsystem. In this case, the macro system is the state government, and the microsystem is the actual preschool. It goes on to say, additionally, the families of the children enrolled in Head Start programs are participants in the program and work with teachers to facilitate their children's growth. Now, if you don't have paper in front of you, please get paper. If necessary, pause the video while you get paper. Okay, here's the reason why I wanted you to get paper. This is going to be a question that you're going to respond to for ICA number 6. ICA number 6 is going to come in a few parts. Here's the first part. For the first part, please answer this question. If the families of the children in Head Start programs are participants, and if the family works with the teachers to facilitate the child's growth, how is the child socialized? Or more specifically, what does the child learn when the family works with the Head Start teachers? What exactly do they learn? What knowledge do they gain? What information are they receiving by the family and the preschool teachers working together? So how are the children socialized? By virtue of their families and the Head Start teachers working together. That answer will be part of your ICA number 6. So that is number 1. Once more, given that the families of the children are working with the teachers to facilitate children's growth, how is the child socialized in terms of the knowledge received, the information given, maybe even the concepts learned? Okay, so that will be part 1 of your response to ICA number 6. Okay, the next preschool type is Waldorf. I'm still on page 120. Waldorf. The first Waldorf school was founded by Rudolf Steiner in Stuttgart, Germany, to serve children of the employees as a cigarette factory. Now this part I have highlighted. The premise of the school's philosophy is to holistically serve the child and to create a home-like atmosphere for their care. It goes on to say, today, natural materials, storytelling, hands-on activities, art, and outdoor play are foundations in the curriculum. Waldorf trainers are trained in Waldorf teaching methodology. Okay. Now, as I read this next sentence, if you have your paper out, keep it out, because we're about to come to part 2 of the ICA number 6. Together, teachers and parents commit to live in a manner consistent with the Waldorf philosophy, including limited television viewing, eating and growing natural foods, and viewing play as an integral component of education. Okay, now comes part 2 of ICA number 6. You ready for the question? Okay, so why is it beneficial for the Waldorf child to have limited TV viewing, the eating and growing of natural foods, and play as an integral part of their education? Why? Why would limited TV viewing, the eating and the growing of natural foods, and using play as an integral part of education, why are those things important? Why would that benefit the child? Okay, so for part 2, you're going to answer this question. So why do Waldorf children, in a Waldorf preschool, why is it beneficial for there to be limited TV viewing, the eating and growing of natural foods, and using play as an integral component of education? Why would that benefit the child? As you answer that question, you'll have a much greater appreciation of the Waldorf philosophy. Now, I worked at a preschool back in 1996. It was a preschool in Los Angeles called Play Mountain Place. And if you'll scroll down past the EVA transcript and the audio, you'll see a class photo of the kids and me. Yes, I had more hair back then than I did now, because we're talking about about 24 years ago. So that's why I look so young in that picture. The reason why I'm showing you that picture is to ask you to look at all the kids in that picture And you probably notice one or two children doing something unusual for their age. You looking at the picture? Are you? Are you? Hector, you looking at the picture? Tammy, you looking at the picture? Oh, good. We're all looking at the picture. Okay. So what do you notice? The first thing you probably noticed was a girl with a pacifier. Yeah. She's 4 years of age, and yet she has a pacifier. Now, believe it or not, at no time did any of the teachers or the fellow kids say, "Take that pacifier out of your mouth." No. She was allowed to use it. Her name is Megan, by the way. She was allowed to have the pacifier because that was an excellent way for her to engage in self-soothing. There you go. And you should see at least maybe one more example. There is an Asian girl in the middle of the picture wearing a light blue princess dress. Yeah, nobody else is wearing a princess dress but her. You know why she did that? Because she liked to fancy herself as a princess. She loved to engage in dramatic play in which she was the princess. And that's fine. At no time did a teacher say, "Take that princess dress off." And none of the kids said, "You're not an actual princess. You shouldn't be wearing a princess dress." No. So what does that tell you? That tells you that, excuse me, in a Waldorf preschool, all the kids have their own individual style. And we allow the children to express their own individual style in a Waldorf preschool because it's good for their sense of self. Yeah. Okay, preschool type number 3 on page 121, Highscope. Okay, Highscope was founded in Ypsilanti, Michigan in the early 1960s as a way to increase the academic performance in the children who are at risk or from poor neighborhoods. The philosophy focuses on intellectual maturation and encourages active learning in the daily curriculum. Now, what do we mean by active learning? Well, what that means is that the child does not learn solely through listening, even though a lot of preschool teachers tell kids, put your listening ears on, put them on. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. No. Active learning, in which a child is engaging in hands-on activities, either tactily with their hands or by using language, things like that. Towards the bottom of the paragraph under Highscope, see where it says the key components in the high school methodology? You don't see it? It's right there. It's right there. The key components in the high school methodology and philosophy include the plan, do, review method. Children plan what is to be done and who they want to do the activity with, and then they engage in the activities. And lastly, they discuss or review what they accomplished and determine whether it went as they planned. Okay, now we come to part 3 in ICA number 6. Have you got paper out? Oh, good. You didn't put your paper away. Very good. See, I've trained you well. So, the question I have is, why is the plan, do, review method a good thing for kids to have? In other words, why is it beneficial for children to plan what they are going to do? Why is it good for them to plan who they want to do the activity with? And why is it good for them to discuss and review after they've done the activity? Why might that be beneficial for kids? Okay, so that will be part 3 to answer that question. Why is the plan, do, review method a good thing? Why is it good for them to plan what they're going to do and with whom they're going to do it? And why is it good for them to discuss and review after they've completed their plan? Why is that good? And then we have the Reggio Emilia method. So 4th line down from the Reggio Emilia heading, the curriculum is children guided and the teachers facilitate the children's learning by planning activities and lessons based on the children's interests. Okay, This brings us to number 4, and I promise you, this will be the last part of the ICA number 6. So question number 4 is, if children's learning is based on the children's interests, how do we determine what their interests are in the first place? So how do we as teachers determine what the children's interests are in the first place? And that is part 4. Okay? So that is it, and that will be for that one. On page 122, we see Montessori. Okay, I'm sure you're all familiar with the Montessori preschool. So what I found interesting about the Montessori preschool, and I have this highlighted. I have it on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14th line down. Incidentally, we had a temporary intruder. That's my cat. So 14th line down, it says, teachers show the children how to properly use the work, and then the children, often on their own personal work mat, will practice on this work until it is mastered. As the majority of the work is self-correcting, the children learn autonomy or independence and self-efficacy. Now I want to add to that. In order to achieve autonomy or self-efficacy, they learn particular life skills. Now, what might these life skills be? Zipping up a jacket, buttoning up a shirt, tying one's shoes, even things like washing cups and dishes, and even basic things like hammering a nail. Now, we're not talking about a plastic hammer and a plastic nail. No, we're talking about a real hammer, light enough for preschoolers, of course, and an actual nail. Now, don't worry, don't get excited, don't fret. The teachers actually show them how to do it in a careful way. So Montessori emphasizes particular life skills for the child. And then last but not least, we have play-based programs. Today's best practices in early childhood education employ play-based instruction and experiences. Interest areas are instrumental components in the environment for play-based programs. They include blocks, dramatic play, art, science and discovery, music and movement, writing, cooking and foods, toys and games, computers, sand and water, the library, and outdoor play. Now, this last sentence I have highlighted. Teachers facilitate the play by offering engaging dialogue and opportunities. So what do we mean when we say that teachers facilitate the play by offering engaging dialogue and opportunities? Well, below the Play Mountain Place photo is a video of a preschool. A preschool in which we see structured play, but we also see unstructured play that is not supervised by the teacher. So I encourage you to watch this video at your leisure, sort of to get some ideas about how you could incorporate play-based programs if that's what you want to do. Focus specifically on how the teachers interact with the child as they are playing or engaging in their own kind of work. Okay? So this is something that'll be to your benefit. The name of this preschool is St. Timothy's, and it is in Hawaii. So that should be interesting as well. So as you watch the video, take note of how the teacher interacts with the child during unstructured play. The statements that the teacher makes, the questions that are asked, things like that. Okay? And that is it as far as preschool types. So this will be the first and hopefully the only time that you will be submitting ICA number 6 in Canvas rather than turning it in class. So to do this, you will click ICA number, ICA numbers, wait, is it ICA number 6? Or is it number 7? Actually, it's number 7, I believe. Yeah, number 7, rather. So you would click ICA number 7, and you would then click Submit Assignment, just like you have been doing for your community agencies. And then you type or copy and paste in the text box, and then when you're ready, you would just simply submit. Now keep in mind that ICA number 7, if I'm correct about number 7, ICA number 7 is due by Tuesday the 17th. Nope, it doesn't have to be turned, it doesn't have to be submitted by 10 minutes after 1. You actually have the entire day to submit it, as long as you do so by midnight. Now, whatever you do, please don't wait to the last minute to turn in your ICA. Okay? And that is pretty much it. Hopefully school will reopen after the spring break. If not, I'll be giving you additional information on the matter.